Have you ever wondered what would happen if someone became so obsessed with you that they gave you an entire year to fall in love with them? What if that person was dangerous, powerful, and absolutely determined to make you theirs? Before we dive into this wild story, make sure you hit that subscribe button and smash that like if you enjoy dramatic movie breakdowns that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Because today, we are exploring one of the most controversial films that took the world by storm. The story begins on a sunny beach in Sicily, where a man named Massimo Torricelli stands watching the waves and the people scattered across the sand. He is part of a powerful crime organization, the Torricelli family, and on this particular day, he is attending a business meeting with his father, who leads their operation. As Massimo gazes across the beach, his eyes lock onto a beautiful woman in the distance, a stranger he has never met, but who captures his attention completely. In that single moment, something shifts inside him, though he does not yet understand the significance of what he is feeling. Then everything changes in an instant when the business meeting turns into chaos and shots ring out across the area. The dealers they were meeting with open fire, and Massimo watches in horror as his father collapses from the attack, struck by bullets that take his life. Massimo himself is hit and injured, the bullet tearing through his body. But as he falls, he can only think about one thing: that mysterious woman on the beach who seemed to appear in his life just moments before tragedy struck. 5 years pass, and Massimo has transformed from the younger man on the beach into something much darker and more dangerous. He now leads the entire Torricelli organization after his father passed away, and his ruthless reputation has grown throughout Sicily as he controls his territory with an iron fist. But despite all his power and wealth, Massimo has never forgotten the face of that woman from the beach, the last beautiful thing he saw before nearly losing his life. He has spent years searching for her, looking through countless cities and countries, but she has remained a ghost, someone he could never find no matter how hard he tried. Meanwhile, in Warsaw, a woman named Laura Biel is living a completely different life as a successful sales director working at a luxury hotel. From the outside, her career looks impressive, and she appears to have everything together, but her personal life tells a different story. Her relationship with her boyfriend Martin has become cold and distant, lacking any real passion or connection. When Laura tries to initiate intimacy with Martin, he pushes her away, making her feel rejected and unwanted in her own relationship. As her 29th birthday approaches, Laura decides to take a trip to Italy with Martin and some friends, hoping that maybe a romantic getaway will help save what is left of their failing relationship. But the trip does not go as she hoped, and after Martin embarrasses her during her birthday celebration, Laura walks away from the group to clear her head and be alone for a while. It is during this solitary walk that fate intervenes in the most unexpected way. Massimo spots Laura at the airport and immediately recognizes her as the woman from the beach 5 years ago. After years of searching with no success, she has finally appeared right in front of him, and he knows he cannot let this opportunity slip away. Without hesitation, Massimo makes his move, and Laura suddenly finds herself taken against her will, pulled away from her vacation and brought to a massive villa where everything feels like a surreal nightmare. When she wakes up in unfamiliar surroundings, Massimo explains the impossible situation she now finds herself trapped in. He tells her about that day on the beach 5 years ago when his father passed away, and how she was the only thing on his mind as he lay injured. He reveals that he has spent years trying to find her, and now that he finally has her, he intends to keep her as a prisoner for exactly 365 days, giving her 1 full year to fall in love with him. Laura is shocked and terrified by this arrangement, but Massimo makes her a promise that he will not touch her intimately without her consent, even though his behavior toward her often contradicts this assurance. He shows her photographs proving that Martin has been unfaithful to her, and he reveals that a breakup letter has already been sent to Martin on her behalf. When Laura tries to escape, Massimo makes threats about her family that force her to realize she has no real options for getting away. He offers her a life of endless luxury and comfort if she will just stay and give him the chance to win her heart over the course of the year. As weeks turn into months, Laura finds herself trapped in this bizarre situation where she is simultaneously a prisoner and someone being courted with extravagant gifts and experiences. She begins to fight back against Massimo in her own way, wearing revealing clothing and lingerie to provoke him and test his self-control, trying to regain some sense of power in a situation where she has none. Despite her resistance, Laura starts to see different sides of Massimo as they spend more time together, and he slowly opens up about his personal life and the world he inhabits. During a trip to a hotel in Rome, the tension between them reaches a breaking point when Massimo handcuffs Laura to the bed and forces her to watch while another woman performs intimate acts on him. A cruel display of control that leaves Laura humiliated and angry. But afterward, he caresses her body, and she feels herself beginning to give in to the attraction she has been fighting, though he suddenly stops and tells her to get dressed because they are going to a club instead. At the nightclub, Laura deliberately tries to make Massimo jealous by flaunting herself and dancing provocatively in front of him and his associates. When she begins flirting with a man who turns out to be from a rival organization, the situation escalates quickly and the man grabs Laura inappropriately against her wishes. Massimo and his men immediately draw their weapons and Laura is rushed out of the club while tensions explode between the two families. The next morning, Laura wakes up on a luxury yacht where she overhears Massimo arguing with his associate Mario about what happened the previous night. She learns that Massimo shot the hand of the man who grabbed her, an act of retaliation that has now started a conflict between their organization and the rival family. Mario insists that Massimo needs to get rid of Laura because she is causing too many problems, but Massimo refuses to let her go. When Laura tries to apologize for causing trouble, Massimo angrily blames her for what happened, and they get into a heated argument. During their fight, Laura loses her balance and falls into the water, and she immediately panics because she cannot swim well and has a heart condition that makes the situation even more dangerous. Massimo jumps in without hesitation to save her, and when Laura regains consciousness, she sees genuine fear and concern in his eyes as he admits he was terrified of losing her. In that vulnerable moment, something shifts inside Laura, and she realizes that despite everything, despite the twisted way they came together, she has actually fallen in love with Massimo. The days that follow are filled with passion as the two finally give in to their attraction, and the yacht becomes the setting for their new connection. Eventually, Massimo allows Laura to return to Warsaw to visit her family, telling her that he loves her and promising to join her after he finishes handling some business matters. But days pass in Warsaw with no word from Massimo, and Laura begins to worry about what is happening back in Sicily. She reconnects with her best friend Olga, and they go out to clubs to distract Laura from her anxiety. During one of these nights out, Laura unexpectedly runs into Martin, who tells her he has been searching for her and wants to explain about the photographs and convince her to come back to him. Martin follows Laura back to her apartment, where he is shocked to find Massimo already waiting inside. After Martin leaves, Laura slaps Massimo out of anger and hurt for abandoning her. But their fight quickly turns passionate, and they end up together again. While being intimate, Laura notices fresh wounds on Massimo's body from the ongoing conflict with the rival family, physical evidence of the dangerous life he leads. She confesses that she loves him, and the next morning, Massimo surprises her by proposing. Laura accepts but asks him to keep the truth about his occupation hidden from her parents because she knows they would never understand. Back in Sicily, Mario keeps Massimo informed about the rising tensions between their family and their enemies, and the threat continues to grow. Laura begins feeling unwell but refuses to see a doctor, brushing off her symptoms as nothing serious. They discuss their upcoming wedding, and Laura explains that her family cannot attend because she does not want them to discover what Massimo really does for a living, though she does allow her best friend Olga to come as her bridesmaid. When Olga arrives for a visit, Laura reveals a secret she has been keeping. She is pregnant with Massimo's child. Olga urges Laura to tell Massimo about the pregnancy immediately, but Laura hesitates, unsure of how he will react to the news. While this conversation is happening, Mario receives an urgent phone call from an informant within their organization, warning him that the rival family is planning to attack Laura. Laura gets into her car and begins driving toward a tunnel, but the vehicle never emerges from the other side. Mario races to find Massimo, just as Laura's phone call suddenly cuts off mid-conversation. When Massimo realizes what has happened and understands the terrible implications of Laura disappearing inside that tunnel, He completely breaks down as emergency vehicles begin arriving at the scene, leaving Laura's fate uncertain, and Massimo devastated by the possibility that he may have lost the woman he spent 5 years searching for and the future they were about to build together.